All right, we're doing Autumn Leaves, or the French name for it is?
Feuilles d'automne.
Okay. Pardon my French. Now these are going to be seventh chords, and for what we've learned today is we learned if we start with a C on the fifth string instead of just here's a C triad. There's a C minor, so that must have been the third, right? C major, C minor. If we did C7, I leave a hole in the middle. And if we do C minor 7, there's a hole in the middle with my birdie. So it all goes back to this open A chord, A minor, A7, A minor 7. And I've just refingered all that jazz to leave a capo finger free. So here's C, C minor, C7, and C minor 7. If you don't understand those basic chords, we're not ready to do the major 7s and minor 7 flat 5s and stuff like that either. So here's our C major. Stupid scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, major 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, and then that's the third. So if I take out this octave here on the third string and put my birdie in the middle, that's a C major 7 chord, which I'm going to call the cheesy 70s disco, smooth jazz, Holiday Inn, loungy chord, C major 7. Now, flip me off, and that's going back to that C dominant 7th we should have already done. Cool. Putting on my birdie finger, and that's a C minor 7th. Now here, so far, all these chords have had C's and G's, root and fifth, our little bass line. But if I flat that fifth, a little more unresolved, the flat fifth. That was El Diablo's considered evil back in the day. So if I took this C minor 7th and smooshed it down like this, now I'm going to refinger in what I call nanu nanu, live long and prosper. Right? So this is a C minor 7 flat 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is C minor 7. There's the fifth. That's flatted. Now that feels weird, so I refinger it. If you wanted to, you would get the tippy top note by using something that's called a crossbar. But that note's in white on your sheet, so if you don't want to worry about that, by all means, don't. Just get the middle 4 strings. Notice that all these chords so far, since we're starting on the 5th string, I've been muting out the 6th string by a little bit of controlled sloppiness here. Just barely touching. Yeah, just getting right up there and getting sloppy. Instead of playing like a classical player and just playing this one note, oops, I'm going to get a little sloppy with it. So minor 7 flat 5, nanu nanu, and then I'm going to switch these two puppies out. And so now he is on the 2nd fret now, and he's gone back to the root. So this is the only one with the root starts with your favorite finger for this shape on this set of strings. So we have major 7, dominant 7th, the bluesy chord, minor 7th, which is the fusiony chord, minor 7 flat 5, which is very unresolved and kind of spooky and mysterious or ominous, and then this is just really, really spooky and ominous and mysterious, really dark. So, on your way to being dark, totally dark. Diminished 7th, it's called. Minor 7 is also called a minor 7 flat 5, I'm sorry. It's also called a half diminished. And you can kind of hear how they resolve to it's going to sound real nice together. Then on the 6th string, which is normally G chord here, and we should know our basic chords, G major, G minor, G7. Now on this, I could even add a double 7th and make it 7th in ear, because I can make up words. As a songsmith, you get to make up any words you want to. G7, so that's just got a chord. I'll make it funky. Just makes it a little funkier. Cool. If I show you how much minor chords here, and now if I take off my pinky, that's a minor 7th. Because it's got the 7th, or flat 7th rather, and the flat 3rd. Once again, I could add my pinky there if I wanted to. G minor 7. Cool. Or, since that's, I'm going to use it this way. I think this chord's a little easier to make. Now, it's difficult at first to get used to taking your birdie finger here and then smushing all 4 fingers here. That's going to be called G minor 7th. So, but the nicknames could be Carlos Santana chord. And when I move this chord from G minor 7th I move it up to C, back up to C, and this is a C ninth chord. It really comes out of C7 open. There's the 7th. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a C. That's a 9. So I put this chord. But all you need to know is that it's a James Brown chord. It starts on the 5th string, so this is C9. First finger here, and then my 3rd finger goes on the top 3 strings. So this is C9, C in the bass, and you can use this in lieu of C7. It's just a little, now see, I could do G minor 7 this way with 2 fingers. Try to get these guys out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. 2 fingers, G minor 7, and then go to C7. If I do these 2 chords, it kind of makes sense because I'm using first finger in the bass, and 1 and 3 actually in the bass, sort of keeping that power chord. And then just G minor 7th, C7th. But I also could do G minor 7th, C 9th. And to me, it just sounds a little jazzier. Versus, they both sound jazzy, I mean they're fine, but I also think this is easier, and these chords are always kind of hard to keep your wrist straight. You know, I was sort of doing, where this is just made to keep your wrist straight. That's so much easier. So I think that's a lot quicker. So Carlos Santana, James Brown, they hang out together all the time. So, so here's my Carlos Santana minor 7. So here's a minor 7 flat 5, where Ixnay on the 5th string, 2 notes here, and then I stick my first finger down just 1 fret to the flat 5. Minor 7 flat 5. It's also called a half diminished. Watch the top string. That'll make it sound a little weird. So top string is being muted out by control sloppiness with that finger. Minor 7 flat 5, full-on diminished chord. Alright? So this is the 2nd finger, and my 1st finger is going to bar the 4th and 2nd string, and I put my 3rd finger on the 3rd string sort of in between them. So here's 2, 3, 2, fret-wise. And just don't try to get that top string. If you wanted to, you could even put your pinky on the tippy top string. You might have known a diminished chord this way. You ever seen a diminished chord like this?
Are you sure me?
No, I showed you this on the middle 4 strings. This is in the top 4 strings. Well, this is also a diminished chord. If you did that nanu nanu chord, and instead of on the middle 4 strings, you put it on the top 4 strings, this would be a diminished chord. And the great thing about diminished chords is they happen every 3 frets. Turn out to be symmetrical. Alright, there's a jangle lick right there. So if I did this with a tippy top nanu nanu chords, because remember how when you move chords, because of that tuning discrepancy, sometimes it's a major and it turns out to be a minor on the next set of strings. Well, here's a half diminished on the middle 4 strings, but a full diminished on the top 4 strings. So that confuses a lot of people about, oh, this is the diminished chord, or is this the minor 7 flat 5 chord? Sorry about that. So if I take my pinky off and put, because anything I can put in the tippy top, I can put in the tippy bass, and then just refinger it, and that goes back to the chord that I have right there. So you see how that one white note, see that top note's in white? And if you want to, you can put your pinky there, but you don't have to. Or you could just leave out the bass note, or even use your thumb there. But I would recommend to do this. But for Autumn Leaves, we're not going to even need to play that chord anyhow. So, Autumn Leaves is going to be the key of E minor, although it's normally, for real jazz musicians, play it in G minor. But as a vocalist, you should, or as a musician, you should be able to play it in any key, because you start playing with vocalists, and they're going to do it whatever key is right for them. I think Nat King Cole does this in D minor. It's going to be a circle of fifths. Does that make sense? Really? It's going to be in the key of E minor. What's the fifth of E minor?
I need to calculate.
Okay. So we're not going to worry about that. The B is the fifth. E, F, G, A, B. Okay? What's the fifth of B? B, C, D, E, F sharp, technically. Cool. This is the unperfect fifth, but C, and the fifth of C is G, and the fifth of G is D, and the fifth of A. So this is a circle of fifths pattern. It's just kind of going around the horn. Hillbillies call this going around the horn. Sort of like sailing around the world. And I'm going to start with Carlos Santana on A minor 7. Now I could have done this A minor 7. I could have done this A minor 7. But I'm not. I'm going to do Carlos Santana because it's be the easiest. The next chord says D7, but I'm just going to make it jazzier and make it D9. I could have done this D7, which would be on your 5th string, the second chord right here. Could have done this D7. But if I do A minor 7 this way, I'll probably do D9 this way. If for some reason I'd done A minor 7 this way, I'd probably do D7 this way. So I just sort of keep my groups together, if that makes any sense. G major 7. Cool. C major 7. Cool. This is the birdie in the middle. This is the up and over. Remember, you could think of a B minor and then just put your wrong finger on it. Or you could think of G and think up and then over. Whatever you do, make sure your first and second finger are on the same fret. And if you want, you could use a cross bar here too. But that's in white, meaning it's optional. G major 7, C major 7. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, the one that doesn't hurt your hand. 2, X, 3, 4. So these guys are all on the same fret, although there is a string that's not being used, and then the first finger. If you really looked at this, this is A minor with an F sharp in the bass. Oh. A minor 6. We'll see that in about a year or two. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then for this chord I'm just going to do B7 open. Yeah, I'm not doing 9. I maybe could maybe do flat 9. I'm just going to do B7 open because I know how this song ends. E minor. And then this little symbol here means to repeat the same chord you were just on. Dun, da, da, da. A minor 7. James Brown. Up and over. Birdie in the middle. Da, 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 the one that doesn't hurt your hands. And then B7. Da, da, da. I'm going to repeat that one more time. So actually I've done this part 3 times now. It should only be done twice, but I'm not actually playing this for reals. I'm just playing this for play. Here comes the second ending. B7, E minor. Ba-da-da. The B section starts on minor 7 flat 5. B7, da-da-da, E minor. Now this chord chart says B7 flat 9. Do you know how to make a B7 flat 9 chord?
Yes.
Say no. No. So we just ignore it. Right? Just make B7. You can always make things simpler. If it says B7 flat 9 sharp 5, just make B7. Now, if you don't know how to make B7, just make B. You can always dumb things down. Although if it says E minor, you can't just say, well, I'll leave off the minor. Just play. No, you can't do that. And the same thing with diminished. You can't just, oh, I'll leave off the diminished or the flat 5. Flat 5s are pretty important. But the 9s, 11s, 13s, most of the time you can leave those off. Most of the time. So the B section should start on this F sharp minor 7 flat 5. It's going to go F sharp minor 7 flat 5 to B7 open to E minor. And then again. A minor 7th is Carlos Santana. D7, I'm going to play James Brown on the 5th fret, D9. G major 7. It should have a C major 7 written right there, which it doesn't, but it does now. Dun, dun, dun. Then I go back to F sharp minor. This is the second to last line. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, B7. And now if I go E minor, then I need an E flat 7 and a D minor and a D. I can't go any lower here. So here, I'll encircle this chord in this chart for you. I'm going to go up to E minor 7 here, which is on my 7th fret, and it's going to be this chord. It's a minor 7th on the 5th string, C, D, E. Do it for 2 beats, because this measure should have 2 chords in it. E minor 7, then E flat 7, flip me off, minor 7th, flat 7th. Now watch that. Oh, this is almost a Jobim move. Cool. So what makes this sound so good is that it retains that note. And then this retains that note. And then I go minor 7th, flip you off, minor 7th, flip you off. Now birdie in the middle, C major 7th. Now the next chord says B7, and we've been playing B7 open, but I'm already here, and to go to an open chord I'd have to change every single freaking note. So I'm going to go C major 7 and just move it down and then flip you off. Because I still get paid even though I flip you off. To E minor. So the bridge, or it's not really a bridge, it's a B section. This song, I would call this form AAB, by the way. Starts on the 1, 2, 3, 4th line down, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Sorry. Read the melody. Ba-da-da-da-dum-dum, B7, ba-da-dum-dum, E minor, ba-da-da-dum, minor 7, Carlos Santana hangs out with James Brown, up and over, birdie in the middle, ba-da-da, miss you most of all. Now I go up to E minor, my darling. Autumn leaves. So this time I've done a B7 here. Start to fall. Cool. Ba-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-dum. This whole song is a collection of 2 5s. 2-5 to the G chord, or a 2-5 to the E minor chord. You don't know what that means yet. You will soon. It's a great song to learn on a lot of different levels. If I wanted to, I could play A minor 7 here, 12th fret, and then when I move down to here, this is D7. So I've just switched on it. Instead of starting with the minor 7th on the 6th string, now I'm starting on the minor 7th on the 5th string. So I'm using this chord for A minor 7th, and then using this chord for D7. I'm sort of switching. So here I'm going to go 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. Where before I went 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. So there should be 2 ways to play every chord, at least 2 ways. A minor 7, D7. Now when I do G major 7, it goes birdie in the middle, and then C is the up and over. Now F sharp is the nanu nanu, middle 4 strings, B7 is the ba chord, and E minor 7th is right here. Ba-da-da-da. Drift past my window. I could have done it here. I suggest both ways. That way you'll be versatile. I could have gone A minor 7 this way, that way. So A minor 7 should actually have 3 different options, possibly 4 if you use your pinky here. But that's pretty much the same option, that's just a variation. And that's pretty damn close too. A minor 7. D7. This is me flipping you off. This is me playing a jazzier D ninth. This is D7 on the 6th string. G major 7. Up and over. 10th fret, birdie in the middle, 5th string. C major 7. Birdie in the middle, 5th string, 3rd fret. Up and over, 8th fret. Up and over, or think minor chord and go to the wrong fret. F sharp minor 7 flat 5. A minor with a birdie on F sharp. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, nanu nanu. B7 open. There's one point in the song where I might even play B7 with a birdie flipping you off. B7. Cool. E minor open. I could have done it, whatever. There's an E minor 7th. There's an E minor 7th with the added pinky. E minor 7th on the 5th string. So those are all your chords to make Autumn Leaves. That should, any questions?